Hello and thanks for joining me. Well, this is a follow-up video of a two-part video I did a while back on how to fine-tune a 4x6 horizontal bandsaw. In that video, specifically part 2, I described installing an elevating plate to correct a problem that's common with a lot of these bandsaws. I sold quite a few of these plates on my web store. This video is to inform you that I've got more of these in stock in my web store, and is also to describe some changes I made to this plate to make it easier to install. They're minor changes, but be sure and watch this video. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2 of this video, be sure and check it out. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, I've got the movable jaw and the stationary jaw removed. And to install this thing, you lay the plate on there, elevating plate, and then you install the movable jaw. And just make sure that this slot is parallel with the slot on your saw, and lock this down at an angle like that. Okay, here's something you need to consider before we go any further. There's a hole right here with a Allen head or a socket head set screw in there, and you got to be able to access that. So you can either drill a hole right there or do like I did and put a lock down on the side. I like the lock down on the side because you can do it without a wrench, and you don't have metal shavings falling down in that socket head Allen. That's always a hassle. You got to get an air hose and blow it out before you can loosen it. So I would recommend doing that, but you can do whatever you want. If you don't do this, you're going to have to take the plate back off and drill a clearance hole in there. It could be a 1/2 inch hole, it doesn't matter. Okay, we've got this plate secured to the bandsaw base with the stationary jaw. It's all lined up, and we're ready to transfer these holes. There's 4 of them, 4 1/4 inch holes right here. You just take a drill and you use the plate as the drill guide, and you drill all 4 of those holes. And I'm not going to do it because I've already got a plate that fits this bandsaw, one that I made on my mill, and the holes are in a little bit different place. But then after you drill those holes, and this is what's changed from previous ones, you take these 1/4 inch split spring pins and drive them in. You drive them flush. I can't drive it flush because there's no hole drilled there. You drill or drive in all 4 pins like that, and then that plate is secured to the saw. On this movable jaw, I got a round spacer that goes right there. That compensates for the thickness of that. I put a T-handle on the bottom of mine. That's a nice addition. You don't have to have a wrench for the bottom. I just welded like a little plate to that bolt right there, so it's held captive so it cannot turn when I tighten the bottom. Anyway, it's ready to use. And the next step will be, move my tools there, cutting down through the plate. You just let the saw cut through the plate. Of course, that'll be pinned right there, and then you'll be ready to go. It's possible, if you change your saw alignment, that you'll have to remove this plate. You can just take a screwdriver and pry it up off of there, and grind a little bit off of that so the gap is wider for your blade. And other than that, that's all there is to it. Pretty simple to install. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and be sure and subscribe. And these plates will be on my web store. Went up a little bit on price. Steel's about doubled since I made the first batch, and I just couldn't afford to do it without raising the price. Anyway, that about wraps it up. Thanks for joining me.